Well, he threw it down low. Remember, they could have went ahead. Oh, you went ahead. Before that. Yeah, before.
Scott, it's working, but you know how a little piece of paper will bend a little? When that thing was, it works. I think I blew it. I think a toothpick and glue it about 4.
Yeah, but you gotta go with a guy who's been around for a while. There are too many of them. It's not on you.
That's his shot. Yeah, so right there, it's
That's the shot.
right. It's not any of the actual contact. It's just plastic. Now, he also play all that, like, I had taped everything. It's just little. You don't get it. It doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. Like, if it gets off, it doesn't work. Right. But.
Great, how are you?
It's a little like. I'm just worried about trimming.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you get glue on the
Earlier,
I think I still have it. Well, this is in New York. This is also.
Go ahead, okay.
What you could have been.
Anyway, I don't want to. Like this is my first time. It's not. Water fish.
Cool. She stuck pretty much to Iran deal.
Yeah, I know, I got it. Yeah, can you put me in the, EL for this pressure?
Yes, that would be my suggestion. No, yeah. Morning. Morning, everybody.
3.9%. You guys know what I'm talking about? 3.9%. That is the unemployment rate in America today. 3.9%. I never thought I'd be standing up here saying that number. This is the lowest unemployment rate since the year 2000. Jobless claims have been hovering around a 48-year low. The unemployment rate for minorities are at or near record lows. Small business optimism is at a record high. Business investment is up 24% over last year. Wages are higher. There is good news everywhere you look. These are not just statistics. These are American workers and American families getting ahead. After trudging along for so long, economic confidence in America has finally returned. The economy and our agenda are improving people's lives. That's why we are here. When we passed tax reform, our Democratic friends literally said that this was going to be Armageddon. 6 months later, that prediction looks really silly. And worse, now the Democrats are calling openly for tax increases. We're not going to move backwards. We're not going to take away all the progress that has been made for families, for workers, for our economy. Right now, job openings are at an all-time high. There are as many jobs open today as there are people looking for jobs, which is why the next phase of our agenda, part of our Better Way agenda, is so important. We need to connect people to jobs, and we need to connect people to the skills they need to get good jobs. It's about workforce development. And soon we will be voting on a farm bill that includes important reforms that are proven to get people off of the sidelines and into full-time employment. These ideas have been tested, they've been demonstrated, they've been proven. The concept is really simple. If you are capable of work, you should work to get benefits. If you can't find work, we'll guarantee a spot in a job training program. That is how you get people off the sidelines, out of poverty, into the workforce, into the careers, on the escalator of life. We call it SNAP E&T, education and training. This is about giving Americans the right incentives and the right skills to get into the labor force. It's what the economy needs. It's what we need. And it's what can help people move into lives of self-determination. We need their talents, and we want to make sure that people can flourish and succeed. This is the perfect time to do this in this kind of an economy. Of course, there's a whole lot more that's happening here in the House. Just this week, we sent the president yet another bill to repeal an Obama-era regulation. We're moving forward on financial services reform to improve access to loans and capital for small businesses. At the Energy and Commerce Committee, they are preparing a package of bills to take on the opioid crisis in America, and that is just to name a few of the things that are happening right now. This just shows that while the economy is cooking, and it is, there is still a whole lot more we can do to strengthen it and to ultimately improve people's lives. Finally, most important point, Sunday's Mother's Day. Do not forget to call your moms, maybe make a meal, send some flowers, or both, all right? Don't forget that. Questions? Rachel.
A group of centrist Republicans obviously filed this discharge petition for DACA. What are you doing to try to stop this? How confident are you that you can? And if you can't, what is your plan?
Yeah, well, we never want to turn the floor over to the minority. And what I don't want to do is have a process that just ends up with a veto. We actually want to solve the DACA problem. Originally, what we always do is we try to find a 218 bill. It's clear to it's clear to us that we're going to have a bill that's going to be bipartisan, but one that the president can support. So that's what we're working on right now, is what is a bill that deals with DACA and deals with all the security, other issues that can get some Democrats and get a presidential signature. Going down a path and having some kind of a spectacle on the floor that just results in a veto doesn't solve a problem. We actually would like to solve this problem, and that is why I think it's important for us to come up with a solution that the president can support. Mike.
Mr. Speaker.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Leader Pelosi said that she would like to roll back the tax cuts if Democrats retake control of the House. Is that enough to alarm Republican voters across the country?
Should be. Should be. I think the average family of four is getting a $2,000 tax cut. You've seen bonuses occur with millions of workers. You're seeing hundreds of billions of dollars being repatriated from overseas into this country, and capital expenditures, meaning plants, equipment, economic activity occurring, wages going up, unemployment going down. All of these things are coming because of tax reform. It's just 6 months into it. And they want to take all that back. They want to raise taxes on hardworking Americans. They want to raise taxes on businesses. They want to make it harder for American businesses to stay in America. I can't imagine that America will want that to happen. Yeah, Christina.
Do you plan to bring the Farm Bill to the floor next week? And as someone who has been in favor of free markets, do you support the sugar?
I was expecting a sugar question. So first of all, I'll defer to the majority leader on the timing of the Farm Bill. We feel good with where we are on this. I've long had views that the sugar program needs reforming, but what I am most interested in is getting a Farm Bill passed into law. Edgerton. You know, there's a town named Edgerton in Wisconsin. Okay. All right, cool. Sorry, that's why I call you Edgerton. That's why I call him Baraboo. Yeah.
So two questions, if I could. The first question is, do you support term limits for members of Congress beginning with this year's freshmen? And the second question is, do you think that the review by Chairman Gowdy and Chairman Nunes of DOJ documents will be enough to satisfy the Intel Committee's subpoena?
Okay, so I've always supported term limits. So, I mean, I've supported term limits since the day I got here. So, I'm for term limits. I believe, first of all, I've spent some time looking at the HPSI request, at the HPSI investigation. I think this request is wholly appropriate. It's completely within the scope of the investigation that's been ongoing for a while with respect to FISA. I actually think that this is something that probably should have been answered a while ago. I've spoken with Chairman Gowdy, I've spoken with Chairman Nunes, I've spoken with the Deputy Attorney General on this. I expect that we will be able to have an accommodation to honor this request. Because I think, first of all, it's our job to do oversight of the executive branch. This request is perfectly appropriate within the scope of the committee's investigation, and I hope and believe and expect that they'll be complied with.
So you support Chairman Nunes?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a completely appropriate request. Wong.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Going back to immigration, do you believe that there will be some kind of immigration vote on the floor before the midterm election?
I'd like to. I want to have, and I want to fix this problem. So I would like to have an immigration vote before the midterms, but I want to have a vote on something that can make it into law. I don't want to have, show ponies. I want to have actual law, and that means the White House has to be a part of this, and it's got to be a bill that the president can sign.
The discharge petition would allow a vote on Goodlatte McCall.
I'll leave what I said as what I said.
Thank you. But to that end, you are the Speaker of the House. You often talk about the importance of the House working its will. You say you don't want to turn over the floor to the minority. If there are 218 people who want to bring something to the floor, number one. And number
218 Republicans is what I shoot for.
Right.
When I don't have 218 Republicans, I want to make sure that we've got a bill that the president would actually support.
But to that end, the House has passed a lot of legislation during your time as Speaker that has gone nowhere in the Senate, which I know you don't speak for the Senate, but it doesn't have a chance of becoming law. How is this different based on that predicate that you set up, that this has to be something that becomes law when pertains?
I think that's a fair question. When the Senate opened up, I forgot how many votes, 4 or 5 bills. There was four bills. They didn't get 60 in any of those. That actually kind of surprised me. I thought they were going to get 60 on something. So that speaks to just how tough this issue is. But I don't want to spend all of our time passing a bill that I know is going to get vetoed. I want to make sure, first of all, I do want a solution here. We want to fix this DACA problem. We want certainty, and we have a border security problem that needs to be addressed. These should not be mutually exclusive goals. But if we're going to spend time on the floor, let's spend that precious time on the floor passing legislation that we know can get signed into law. There were some of those, one or two of those 4, I think was going to get a presidential signature. So that's why that effort I thought was worthwhile. I want to make sure that we have an effort that's worthwhile that can get a presidential signature. Anu.
Just on the Nunes request, the Justice Department has said that providing this information could lead to severe national security consequences, could risk lives. Do you not believe the Justice
I've had a good talk with the DAG about this. This is a classified request, and I believe that they can honor this request without jeopardizing those issues.
Mr. Speaker, the president today thanked Kim Jong-un and said he really was excellent to these 3 men. Do you agree? Should the president really be thanking Kim Jong-un, who wrongfully detained them, sent some of them to harsh labor camps?
The president is getting prepared. Didn't he release the date today? Yeah, and the location. So he is preparing for a summit with the leader of North Korea to focus on denuclearization. So I think we all should give the president some leeway on preparing for this summit and to do. And by the way, it was a good faith gesture. When Mike went over there, I don't think we were sure that we were going to get these prisoners in the first place. So I think we should clearly give the president some leeway on preparing for this summit.
Last question.
Speaker Kelly LeCQ, thank you. The $15 billion rescissions package from the White House, some House Republicans are concerned about chip provisions. Can you give us an update on
Sure.
where your conference is at and what you expect to take?
Once people understand what this actually is, I think people's minds are set to ease. This is money that cannot be spent, and it's money that will not be spent. And we already passed the longest extension of CHIP in the history of the program, a 10-year extension. So this does not jeopardize CHIP in any way, shape, or form. Thank you very much.